Alright, how we doing today? We're going to do a couple videos on some plants. Most of them are going to be edible, but we're going to do a couple on some medicinal herbs. We're going to start out with yarrow. Don't go away. Alright guys, this is yarrow. Like I said, there are many medical uses for them. More than I could remember. So I wrote a couple paragraphs from a website that I found down, just so you guys get the most information that I could for you. Yarrow's most widespread function is to stop bleeding, which it is still used for today. It is said that Achilles used this plant to arrest the bleeding of his soldiers' wounds. Thus, the name of the genus Achillea was derived. Seasoned hikers are usually aware of the blood clotting and antimicrobial benefits of applying yarrow to their cuts. Yarrow may be applied directly or used as a salve or a poultice for minor cuts and wounds. Now there are also other uses that I'll go on and read. Yarrow has also been used as a remedy for cold and early fever. Dog's gonna make a cameo here in about 2 seconds. Due to its diaphoretic properties, a tea may be prepared by steeping 1 teaspoon of dried yarrow in 1 cup of boiling water for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink 3 cups per day. Excuse me. The herb has also gained notoriety for its anti-inflammatory abilities. Thus, it has been used for a number of conditions, from intestinal, female reproductive tract inflammations. Well, that's just some information that I wrote down for you, just so I wouldn't forget it. Like I said, this is definitely one of my top 10 medicinal plants if I'm ever out. You know, it's just so you don't have to carry a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna get that real close in for you so you can see. Now, of course, anybody that knows a lot about plants will tell you, you know, be very careful, because you can, I mean, it's possible to misidentify this with poison hemlock in its early stages, but if you're careful, there's absolutely no way you would. This plant is very different from poison hemlock if you are careful. But if you make a tea out of this, you'll know right away it is definitely medicinal. This thing reminds me of aspirin in almost every way. The taste, you know, it's good for minor headaches, in my opinion, backaches, sore joints, stuff like that. This is just one of those plants to definitely have in your toolbox. Thanks for joining me. Alright guys, this is broadleaf plantain. This is a plant that is an edible and a medicinal at the same time. I'll talk more about it in a second. Don't go away. Okay guys, that is a broadleaf plantain. And one of the real #1 ways to identify this plant is from the backside. You'll see these veins here. I mean, that's just one bomb-proof way of identifying this plant. Another way is that, I hope I can get that in frame for you, is kind of has like I don't know, like a canoe that the stem comes down into. A little channel there. That helps this plant channel water into the roots when it rains. It's one of the only plants that does that I've seen. But alright, let's eat one of these and I'll tell you what it tastes like. Alright guys, obviously if you select the young leaves, they're going to taste a little bit better for you. But one of the things that I have to say that really gets me is that this plant has an amazing mushroomy, earthy taste to it. So if you like mushrooms, this is your game totally, all day long. But one of the uses of it is that you get in your mouth, chew it up real nice, and what you've just done is made a poultice. So say if I got stung by a bee, I would chew one of these up and stick it on that bee sting. One, that's going to remove the toxins and the poisons that bee is pumping into me, and plus it has drawing powers. So the stinger itself and any kinds of thorns or anything you could run into, that's going to draw them right out, make them easier for you to remove. Thanks for joining me on this. Alright guys, we're back. This video here, the medicinal, this is milkweed, and this plant is used as a antifungal And if I take one of these leaves here and show you, get that in frame real good. See that white latex sap that's on my finger there? Now this plant is for external, let me repeat that, external use only on ringworm, and all kind of athlete's feet. It could be used for anything that is needed for antifungal use. This is also a good plant to know. And if you can see, let me zoom in here, you can see that sap just dripping out of that stem. That is an awesome, awesome antifungal. Alright guys, thanks for joining me on this one. As I'm sure everyone has seen these a million times, they're all over your yard. Here's are white clovers, and one way to really tell, you will never mis-ID this plant. Let's get that in focus there. Come on, focus. If you see these 3 leaves here, and you see the V's that are in those leaves, it's white clover. And then obviously the white petals. And these are all edible. The flowers, the stems are, the leaves are. The leaves are a little bit better if you boil them. They can be a little bit bitter. But hang on one second and we'll eat one of these. Alright, here's a white clover. Like I said, the flower heads are edible. The stems and leaves are edible. It's alright. It's not bad.
Yum.
Obviously Connor likes it. You can gather, this stuff is everywhere, and you know, if there's actually a situation where you need it, like I said, even if you live in the city, this stuff is everywhere. You'll know it from now on. Whenever you see it, you'll see it driving, you'll see it walking, like I said. That being said though, it is everywhere, so it's a good plant to know in case you need it. But it is edible. Flower heads, the stems, the leaves, everything's edible. It don't taste bad. It's kind of hard to explain the taste of it. You'll just have to try it for yourself. But like I said, it isn't bad at all. The leaves are actually a little bit better if they are collected and boiled twice. But just one more thing for you to know. Thanks for being with me. Alright guys, we showed you white clover. So I wanted to show you pretty much its almost opposite. It's red clover. It has a way different taste. I actually enjoy the taste of red clover, but as you can see, the leaves of the red clover are identified almost the same as white clover, but obviously they are ginormous compared to white clover. These leaves are also edible. They aren't bad if you collect a bunch of them and alright guys, we're back into a different area right now with a red clover. I'm pretty sure they don't spray anything in this area, so I just wanted to show you that the red clover, the flower petals here, they have like a fruitiness to them. They're really sweet, really good, really awesome. Way heads and shoulders over white clover. But hopefully you get a chance to identify these out where you are. Give them a try.
Daddy, can I eat this?
It's red clover leaf.
Yay.
Right.
Tastes the same.
Mm-hmm.
No peel onto it.